Before I start off this video, let me just say this isn't going to be like any video I usually make for the people that can currently watch my stuff, or, you know, the one person that does. I know this year has been a pretty experimental year for the channel. Usually I talk about a topic, whether it be YouTube stuff or a video game. I tend to talk about these sort of things in a more linear fashion too, but this video isn't going to really be like that. Today I just want to talk about a game that I've played recently. A game that, though I've only known about its existence for about a month at the time of me writing this, has become a personal favorite of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, trans bros and non-binary hoes, you've already read the title of this video, but this is... Right when you first start playing, it's already all over your face. The fast-paced gameplay that resembles something like Doom with the PS1 style makes it really charming in its own special way. The way you progress through the story, get new weapons, and fight the bosses no matter how long it takes, yeah, it took a while for me for some of them. No matter what the game throws at you, you just want to get it all done to the adrenaline rush you get just from shooting things down and jumping around, and it all just makes the game so frustrating yet so amazing at the same time. Not to mention that the game is still in early access with an overwhelmingly positive review average on Steam, with 99.9% of the negative reviews just saying that the game doesn't even have sex, which it technically actually does, and it all just lets you know that you're in for a treat with this game. Okay, let me stop myself for a quick second. Yes, this game is great, but why? Yeah, I did just tell you many reasons why, though I should probably be more in depth on why. So the story of this game is that you're a robot named V1, a machine that uses blood as a fuel source. After the extinction of humanity, the player descends through the layers of hell in order to harvest the blood of the various creatures in hell. And from there you get your first weapon you get in the game, a revolver, and start shooting shit. Over time you get a shotgun, nail gun, rail cannon, and rocket launcher. Each weapon has its own little techniques and special advances towards one another, with you being able to get different kinds of these weapons, and with a little more playing of the game, alternative versions of each weapon. For example, a different version of the revolver lets you shoot out coins. Now I know that sounds incredibly fucking stupid and or hilarious, but once you realize you can shoot these coins into the air and then you can shoot it with any weapon so it can project onto the enemies, just makes you feel more like a badass than you already do while playing this game. There's also a parry system in this game that lets you parry pretty much anything, from regular enemy shots to a fucking giant punch to your own shotgun bullets, and it really just flows so well in the game. The level design is so well made too. For example, the entire prologue is just this gritty map that you go through, and then when Act 1 starts, it just hits you with the biggest relief ever. The many bosses you fight are all great in their own way, so I'm gonna talk about them. First, you got the malicious face. This one may seem difficult when you're first playing the game, but once it becomes a regular enemy and once you get new and more powerful weapons, it will be a fucking breeze to kill him. Then you have the swords machine. This one is much harder and he only becomes a base enemy somewhere in Act 2. Next is the Cerberus, and it does take a while to kill, no matter what weapon you use. Sometimes you have to fight multiple of them at the same time, like when it's a boss fight here. Killing one will make the other one enrage, which causes it to be more aggressive, so look out for that. The next, and what people like to call the first real boss fight, is the Hideous Mass, the first boss of Act 1. His attacks do get annoying really fast, but just like a lot of stuff in the game, it's really fun to battle him. After dealing most of his damage, he goes into toddler temper tantrum mode and just tries spamming one of his moves, so towards the end of it, it gets pretty easy to beat him. The next boss you fight is V2, which is literally an alternate version of yourself. This boss is very difficult, forcing you to test your knowledge, to test you with the question of if you actually know how to play this game. This one was a pain in the ass for me to complete at first, but beating him will give you his arm, which deals more damage, but it's slow and it's terrible for parrying stuff. The next boss is the corpse of King Minos, and I know this one probably looks like the hardest one in the game, but trust me, it's really not. You can honestly just stand in a corner and shoot him whenever his hand tries to punch you, or you could actually fight him, but that's your choice. Also, you can parry his punches, and that's pretty cool. The next one is Gabriel, the Judge of Hell, and oh my god, this one makes you want to pull my hair. You have no idea how much this boss made me infuriated. It was so difficult to defeat him, but after so many tries, I actually did it, and the relief I got when I did was unreal, dude. The first boss of Act 2 is the Sissy... I don't know how to fucking say that, and yeah, this one is pretty tough. Though after a few tries, you can actually get pretty used to his strategies. Overall, a pretty fun boss fight. And then you fight V2 once again. I'll be honest, this actually didn't take as long as the first V2 fight did for me. I don't know why. I'm pretty sure I just found a strategy to beat him. And then the second part of the boss fight was fairly simple. Overall, this one was also pretty good. After this boss fight, you get a grappling hook for the game, and it's actually a pretty useful object in the game. You can use it to travel, to bring light enemies to you, and to get yourself to heavy enemies so you can like punch them or something. The next boss is the ferryman, who is pretty fast, but overall it wasn't too difficult and it was pretty fun. I enjoyed this boss fight. Also, his name reminds me of the Candyman song, and I find that to be hilarious. The next boss fight is the sea monster named Leviathan. I don't know if I'm fucking saying that right. Again, this one can seem difficult at first, but you can get used to his attacks very quickly. Again, a very enjoyable boss fight. Jesus, all of these boss fights are just so good no matter how hard they are. The next boss you fight are two hideous masses at the same time, and oh boy, this one was harder than it should have been for me. For some reason, I died so many times in this fight, and I just don't get why. But besides that, again, this boss fight was good. Not my favorite one, but still a good build-up fight for the, as of right now, final boss in the game. That would be the second Gabriel fight, and the voice actor for him did an amazing job with this one, just like the last time.
Machine, I will cut you down, break you apart, splay the gore of your profane form across the stars. I will grind you down until the very sparks cry for mercy. My hands shall relish ending you here and now!
This fight, just like the last Gabriel fight, is so fucking hard. This took me so long to do, so when I actually did it, I felt more relief than I did the last time I fought him. That's basically it for the main part of the game. I know I didn't go too in-depth about the levels and stuff, but I personally didn't want to go into detail about things just because I wanted to talk about the game and how amazing it is. But to be short, every level in this game, even the weaker ones, are a very enjoyable experience. I won't spoil anything, but if you play the levels and gradually over time find all of the new enemies and weapons, you will have an insanely fun time with the game. I know I did. Now some of you may be asking me, is there anything to do after you finish the main story? You're damn sure as hell there is. Even after you finish the main story, there's so much more to do in the game. Finding all the secret orb things, doing the challenges the game says that you can or cannot do, and there's a secret mission for every layer. The first secret mission is actually pretty scary when you get into it. I'll be honest, I only got into it a few days ago at the time of me writing this, and I still haven't beat it. It's not just creepy noises and stuff, they actually put some weird stick enemy in the game that kills you instantly, and it's not a fun experience to say the least. The second one is a take on the 2016 puzzle game The Witness, and it is a pretty fun level. Some of the puzzles are low-key hard though, so do them at your own risk. The third one is this dating simulator type thing that makes me want to rip my eyes off, but it is pretty funny, not gonna lie. The fourth one is this Crash Bandicoot style level, and it is very fun. It can get kinda difficult though, especially if you're most likely playing this on a keyboard, but I personally thought it was an enjoyable secret level. And then there's the secret level you get for getting a perfect ranking on every level in the game. I personally haven't gotten this yet, and I probably never will, but from what I've seen, it looks like a very painful experience. So my apologies to anyone who gets war flashbacks from fighting it. Now let's talk about the other modes in this game, of which there are only two. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Cyber Grind, which is an endless mode that puts you to the test with each layer getting harder and harder with how long you last. Another cool thing about this mode is that you can change the textures of the area you go into, so if you want it to look like something such as Minecraft, you could easily go for it. The other one is Sandbox mode, and this is literally GM_construct. This mode is pretty fun. You can battle many bosses at the same time, you can use cheats to make your weapons OP as fuck, but personally, I use this to practice things I'm horrible at when it comes to this game. Now, what are my overall thoughts on Ultrakill? Well, if you couldn't tell, I'm a very big fan of this game. It's a very fun, fast-paced game, and I can't wait for it to officially release and get more popular than it already is getting. Would I say it's better than Doom Eternal? Well, I can't honestly answer that, mostly because I haven't played all of Doom Eternal. But both games have their perks and are both very enjoyable. Also, one more thing, this soundtrack absolutely fucking slaps. Anyways, this has been radsterr. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and comment your thoughts on the video. If you want to see more content, make sure you subscribe. Before I officially stop talking in this video, I want to give a quick update on my channel. As many of you know, I've been doing more video game related content instead of commentary videos, and I just wanted to say that the video game content will be staying. I really enjoy making this content, and I honestly just prefer it over commentary videos. I'll probably still make a commentary video every once in a while, but if I do, it will most likely be about topics that relate to video games, such as videos talking about content creators that also make video game content. Also, in the future, I plan to branch out more on media analysis content, so yeah. Anyways, this has been radsterr. Thank you for watching.